So, folks, we have to talk about Dave Rubin, part 3. I'm going into this blind. I don't know what he is about to argue, but I do know one thing, and that he is going to argue it exceedingly poorly. Can we not? No, we must. Mostly because I already delved into the first 2 parts, and if I don't go into the third one, people will be mad at me in my YouTube comments again. I took too long between the last one and the part 2, so I'm just trying to not get yelled at. Let's jump into it, shall we? Please be nice to me.
Next surrounded claim is that progressives push normal, moderate Americans to the right.
Hell yeah. That's right. Advocating for basic human rights and economic justice makes everyone want to become more conservative. Love it.
To debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So my argument here is that what progressives are doing is opening up opportunities for people to reevaluate the way that they see politics, right? Progressives are arguing that more pocket power should be delivered to the average American. That is like one of the foundational tenets of progressivism.
Yeah. Can you say what that means? What does more pocket power mean?
Okay, right. So this is the idea, right, that under our current system, we see that the majority...
I guess I'm a little confused here because I don't necessarily... I've been seeing people on this episode in particular, Dave starts with a claim, but then what he gets hit with isn't really engaging directly with the claim. There's a lot of intellectual building, which I'm not inherently against, building intellectual scaffolding for a bigger idea. But I don't know how else to put this other than by being blunt. Someone like Dave Rubin is a stupid coconut. He's a stupid coconut head, right? And this is effectively the equivalent of casting a level 10 spell on a level 1 goblin. And you don't need to do that. You can just present him a basic refutation of his idea, and he will be utterly helpless before you, right?
Majority of power, as well as just monetary control, exists within people who own private property. And to essentially decrease that gap, progressives want to give more power to those who are in the workplace.
Do you not want people to own...
I cast wish to destroy that goblin.
private property?
Well, I'm definitely anti-capitalist, I would say.
Yeah.
So I would say that workers should own the means of production.
Right. Oh, so you're a communist?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
What is communism?
I haven't talked to a real life communist.
What's
in
a
while.
Communist?
Well, you want the people to own the means of production. And
yeah.
you don't...
I mean, you have to understand, this is basically the ideal setup for someone like Dave Rubin to just be oh, you're an honest to God communist. This should, on paper, work out really well optically for Dave Rubin. Let's find out if it does.
Seem to believe in
the people who create
property.
The people who create value, as in create the value of commodities, should own the actual value that they create from that process. Yes.
So,
I do agree with her, though. She is correct.
So my answer, if you want the people...
I just don't think she's really making the case in this particular venue super well in such a way that it actually hits at what Dave is talking about.
Everyone in this room and everyone in this country to have more, what I would want is that you would take less from them. So you tax everybody less. You remove regulation. You create the conditions for competition and capitalism so that more people will have more of their money. I want you, I assume you work. Do you work?
Yeah.
Do you pay taxes?
Yeah.
I want you to keep more of your money. Right. I don't know what you do. I don't know how much you earn.
Yeah, but Dave, 1% of her money is not going to be the same as 1% of your money, right? And it isn't even a progressive tax when conservatives talk about tax breaks. The tax breaks that conservatives get are exponentially higher than what actual working people get. And by conservatives here, I mean, the 1%. the wealthiest people to ever exist in the world. Like, taxes are what allow you to have a working fire department. Taxes are what allow you to have like a functional interstate system. Taxes are what allow you to have like basically the infrastructure we need to have a modern society. The argument that we should just all not pay taxes anymore is a really bad one. And it is deliberately painted in a way that like, oh, no, everyone will get to keep all their money. And that sounds great until suddenly you realize, oh no, Mima's not going to get Social Security. Oh no, Mima's also losing Medicare. Oh no, a bunch of people in my neighborhood just lost their Medicaid and now are like languishing in the street because they can't afford basic drugs or to go to the hospital. Like, it basically just turns into a nonstop avalanche of costs that have typically been absorbed by the US government, now being forced upon private citizens who do not have the individual means to actually solve these problems. And all that allows the rich to do is take home astronomically more money. But Jack, imagine if you save $300 a year on your income tax. Boy, howdy, what a game changer. I could invest that in Bitcoin.
Whatever it is you earn, I want you to have more of that money so that you can put that money back into the system.
The majority of wealth in the system is owned by 1% of the population. You understand that, right? And where does that wealth come from?
Wait, 1% of the population. Do you know how much percent they...
Like, I don't disagree with her points here. This just wasn't the time to introduce them like this.
Paying taxes, that 1%?
Not nearly enough, because the majority of their wealth comes from...
It's 47%.
Right.
Hold on. So 1% of the population pay 47%. You accept that?
Okay.
Yeah. So what would be their fair share?
What percent of that
what would be their fair
is their
share?
actual wealth that they own? That, again...
Fact check. It's not true that in a current general sense, that 1% of the population pays 47% of the taxes. Recent IRS data shows the top 1% pay about 38 to 40% of all federal income tax, with an unusual peak near 46% in 2021. Across all taxes, income, payroll, state, and local, their share is lower still.
But how can we seize the means of production without our okay buddy Jack?
I could swear that there is like some kind of Riverboat Jack based meme Reddit. I do not remember what it is though. I couldn't for the life of me tell you what it is. It might be r/OKBuddyJack. I have no idea. You guys will have to build the world you dream of. Plant the trees you may never see the shade of.
Majority of these lineages of power and ownership.
What would be their fair share? What would be their fair share?
Accumulation of.
What would be their fair share?
I would say that the fact that they own so much.
1%
You're not letting me finish
47% in taxes.
Here's my problem. You're not letting me finish the point, so we can't get from point A to B. Do you understand that?
Okay,
cool.
He does understand that. He's doing it deliberately, so he has to answer less of your questions.
You accept that 1%
there's
pay 47%.
not going to be a fair share when their wealth is coming from the back ends of colonialism. So that's not going to work.
Okay, we got to pause there. We're going to reset. Please return to your seat. You've been voted out.
He's back. All right.
Good to see you again, Dave.
Nice to see you.
It's interesting to point to like 5 anecdotal examples as like an overall consensus on where the American people are moving.
Well, I think they qualify more as more than anecdotal in that Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat member of Congress. Bobby Kennedy is a Kennedy, which is a standard bearer for Democrat.
Well, he has the name Kennedy, so he must be a leftist. Is genuinely insane.
Do you think Bobby Kennedy is also in alignment with most of his family? Would you say that they would concur that he's a representative of the Kennedy family?
I don't know about most. I know some don't like him.
Most don't like him. Especially those that are the most vocal.
Wasn't this guy brought on the Majority Report, by the way? Was it? Am I hallucinating that? I haven't watched. I haven't been steady with my Majority Report watching lately. He was? Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. He did really well the first time he popped up on the show, so I'm intrigued to see what his appearance on the Majority Report looks like.
and still participate
well, he's
in politics.
he's the
But we
one
can
that's
move
in the
from
midst
that.
of the
Talking about people like
Oh, he's also on the Humanist Report. Also, folks, if you haven't, go check out the Humanist Report. Excellent program. Friend of the show.
Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, these are people that thrive off of clicks and popularity. What's more clickbaity than I left the left? So many people get that, not just because they're getting a whole new audience in order to capitulate to, but there's also like.
So you think Joe Rogan?
There's also like a lot of like.
Hold on.
There's a lot of like oligarchic money too that like can incentivize people to change their worldview.
Wait. That's
like Russian money.
Hold on. That's
like for people like Tim Pool or like what was the Rubin report? Did that also accept Russian money from Tenet?
All right, I'm more than happy to talk about that, but just very quickly to.
Are you? Because I get the distinct feeling you're not.
Impugn Joe's motives that at the day before the election, he suddenly said, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump for financial or click motives when he's the largest podcaster in the world. That's what you just said.
I'm not saying it's just Joe Rogan.
That is
saying
no, but
that's indicative of people who rely on clicks.
That is quite
We
a
can
claim.
walk over Joe Rogan specifically.
Yeah.
I think his brain broke during COVID, I'm going to be honest. Because he went from somebody who went from like a huge Bernie Sanders supporter, so pro single-payer healthcare, ensuring that we're more diplomatic in our international
Do you think
policy
it's possibly he just evolved? Do you think it's possibly he just evolved to different points?
All of those days.
Do you think his brain broke? It's not possible that he just started thinking about things a little bit differently.
All of those are political foundations.
Yeah.
Believing that the United States should not continue interventionism, believing that universal health care should be a right to people. These are political foundations. You don't just switch your political foundations like that.
Well, hold on.
You find that people are bullying you or you're saying the left's too mean, as I've heard a lot of times.
It's not a right to someone else's labor. You have a right to
We can have a universal
speech.
health care debate if you want, but I'm talking the overall why.
You don't have a right to somebody else's labor. Is such an insane thing to say as a capitalist, right? Like Dave Rubin considers himself a capitalist, and yet where do profits come from, guys? Where do company profits come from? That's what's left over after your expenses, right? And so it's the revenue minus the expenses. Hey, what is the biggest expense of a company, generally speaking? Oh yeah, it's labor.
Rubin's getting cooked single-handedly by this guy.
I see what you did there. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But labor. Labor is the biggest expense for corporations. And it's worth noting, none of that money that gets turned from revenue and into profit, none of that would be possible without the workers doing the labor. Profit is only possible when it is skimmed off the top. When you, at the top of a company, are entitled to the value of the labor and you withhold it from the people who actually made it. So it's weird that Dave Rubin would say this when capitalism is literally the ideology of being entitled to other people's labor.
America shifted to the right.
But it seems
I have to talk about the last person who debated. Most people feel like they can't get a leg up in this economy. And when you have a Democratic Party, this is where I'm pretty critical of Joe Biden. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I think that the Biden administration and then the following Kamala Harris presidential campaign, I don't think that they focus enough on what specifically needs to change in order for the average American to feel like their economic conditions are getting better. And while we can follow the metrics economically, and inflation was going down, unemployment was lower, most people didn't feel that. And when you feel like your rent is burdening you, 34% of Americans feel rent burdened, which is huge. When you feel like the grocery prices are continuing to go higher, you're going to try to find.
Yeah, we looked at a study the other day, like somewhere like 50% of Americans are struggling to buy necessities at this point. I actually saw an article earlier today. Yeah, here it is. Not like the most rigorous of articles here from Yahoo Finance's MoneyWise, but worth pointing out. Running out of money. Kraft, McDonald's, Whirlpool CEOs all issue same dire warning about U.S. consumers. Let's take a look. American consumers have kept the economy afloat for years, even as inflation, high borrowing costs, and rising grocery bills squeezed household budgets. But some of the country's biggest corporate leaders are now warning that shoppers may finally be hitting a breaking point. And let's see. They are literally running out of money at the end of the month. We're seeing negative cash flows in the lower income brackets where they're dipping into savings. the industry has endured years of volume degradation because consumers had to absorb too much price. McDonald's CEO said that consumers had heightened anxiety. CFO noted gas prices are hitting lower income households especially hard, which is, of course, meaning that they can't go buy McDonald's.
Of course!
And yeah, it seems like people aren't wanting to buy whirlpools anymore. So, I don't know, just to give a little bit of extra gas in the tank for what this guy's talking about.
An alternative, and when Donald Trump is saying, look, I'm going to fix all of the problems, I'm going to make sure everything's okay, some people are like, yeah, I want to go ahead and go.
Well, that's what politics is, right? Like, it's a secular force.
Yeah, is it good, folks, when people can no longer afford one of the supposedly cheapest fast food restaurants in America? I don't think so.
But we're not saying that ideologically Americans are more right-wing. Why do progressive ballot propositions pass even in red states? Nebraska, Ohio, we could go over minimum wage increases.
I got you. You did a lot there. Okay.
Let's answer some.
Please, for the love of God, stop. My brain can only handle so much. My name's Dave Rubin, not Dave Thinking.
Oh, okay, I'm trying. So first off, you want to talk about the Tenet thing? What do you want to talk about? Where do you want to go? I'll even give it to you. I'll give it to you. Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Why did you take Russian money and pretend like you didn't know?
I was reached out to by Lauren Chen, who you might know as what's her name, Post Millennial Online, or
she's like the Canadian white nationalist that's Asian.
Roaming millennial, and I've known her for about 10 years.
Okay.
And we were friendly over the years, and we had agreements and disagreements.
This is actually fascinating that Dave Rubin, rather than answering any of the shit he didn't know about, opted to talk about this. This is actually very funny to me. Like, instead of talking about how I have no idea how to address anything you just brought up, what if I talked about something horrifically embarrassing to myself instead? It's like, all right. Why are you gay? Disturbed? Because women are hot.
We were on each other's shows, and she contacted me a couple of years ago.
And men are also hot. And so are non-binary people. Being bisexual and pansexual, it makes me very gay.
Said that she had some backers that she was talking to, and she was starting a new network, and they were talking to all sorts of people. She mentioned Tim Pool. She mentioned a whole bunch of creators that you guys know and I'm sure love, but it was people all over the political aisle. She said they wanted to create.
Didn't Lauren Chen? Am I misremembering? Didn't Lauren Chen like boost Stefan Molyneux, like the race realist guy? Am I misremembering that? Like I gotta be honest, I did not pay attention to like Roaming Millennial. You know, I did not have enough time in my day ever to like go out of my way for that. Am I remembering correctly that she was like part of signal boosting the extraordinary white nationalist? Yeah, she did? Okay, cool. Oh, she also did Richard Spencer. That's right. Yeah.
A free speech network. I said to her, listen, I am extremely, extremely busy, but I would consider doing something for you as long as I 100% control it. You have no control over the content whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a ridiculous amount of money because I don't have time, and we'll see if we can come up with something.
I'm going to ask for a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not going to ask where it came from, and I'm not going to look too hard either, because I
am the intellectual equivalent of an assault rifle.
And there's nothing that could possibly be wrong with this deal.
Defense, I'm not going to attribute you. Like, let's say you didn't know that. And I'm not trying to say that you were able to know that it was Russian money. Yeah. But what I do think is interesting is that this anti-woke movement that just says woke a lot and calls it an ideology, it is so easy to be ideologically aligned that Russian propagandists are like, yes, these are our people. This is how we're going to get the American people on board. That's more of like the issue. It's not really your fault. It's more so that like your whole ideology.
I mean, I would not be so quick to let Dave Rubin off the hook here. But I do appreciate what Mason, I believe his name is saying here, which is, Dave, you're basically exactly what a Russian stooge would want. Like what Russians desire in their stooges. They thought you were so dumb and so perfectly aligned with what a pro-Russian commentator would say, that they just handed you a comically large pile of cash to keep doing it. And that should maybe be like a huge, huge wake-up call to you. And it's not, which kind of tells us everything we need to know. Pre-watched? Nope, not pre-watched.
Wokeness
What-
is
let Dave-
bad.
let
What
Dave
show,
respond, though.
what,
This
show
is
did,
interesting.
what show did I do for Russia?
What?
What show did I do for
No,
Russia?
I'm not saying
What
you
did I-
did a
what
show
did I
for
do?
Russia. I'm
What did I
saying
do?
Russia saw you
What
as
did
a
I do?
stooge
You did the Rubin report.
who could easily say the talking points that benefited them.
But do you understand? They gave me no talking points. I did a show. It was
That's
a
the
call-in
point.
show.
But here's
Yeah.
what we're missing, Dave. Right? I'm not saying
Oh, he can't. Oh, poor Dave. Dave's too stupid to understand what's happening to him right now. He genuinely doesn't get it. It's like when a dog looks in a mirror and doesn't see its reflection because there's no smell. They can't double smell themselves. Oh no. Oh dear.
saying Russia gave you a script to say. I'm saying Russia's like, yes, this is our guy. If we fund him more and we give him more influence, he's going to do
Oh
it
my
for
God.
us without
Oh
even
my
getting a
God.
script. Isn't that
Oh my
embarrassing?
God. No.
You
Well,
did
it's
it
a
without even getting instruction from them.
It's a quite literal fantastical adventure that you just went on there. Literally.
What's the adventure?
Literally, I did a call-in show
Why
for
would
them.
Russia
What's the adventure? You're the one who got actual real money, Dave. Like, come on, man.
You don't even know.
Why would Russia?
I love that Dave is either just really, really, really bad at trying to like avoid this conversation and topic, or like he is just genuinely too dumb to realize what is being discussed here. Like, just too dumb. He never stopped to think about why the Russian state would try and subsidize his program. Which is crazy, because if I found out that I was being subsidized by, like, some foreign agency, or if I found out I was being secretly subsidized by the CIA or what have you, I'd be pretty curious to know why. I'd be doing some soul searching here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And support the show, because you guys make the show possible without me taking mysterious donations from, state actors.
Should choose you in Tim
Hold
Pool.
on. You don't even know what I did. You don't even know what the Tenet show that I did, do you? Did you ever watch it? Do you know the name of it? Do you know anything that I did? So you don't. So you quite literally have no idea what you're talking about.
They just gave you money because they're altruistic?
No. Buddy,
They're just
buddy,
like, we're thinking of
buddy.
giving it to Dave.
No, because, no. Well, first off,
Look, okay, there's something called beneficent ableism, all right? And it turns out the Russian
you
state
could
has
always
this
go
a
this
lot
direction.
in spades. We could always go this direction. I'll take a look at that in a second. What about Grigor Niet Russian? What do you Gregor not Russian? I don't know who that is. There is a mysterious benefactor named Grigor Niet Russian, who is a down-home Texas cowpoke who supports the Riverboat Jack LLC, no strings attached. And I don't ask questions. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What is this?
If you don't want to see two robots smashing each other with
Jack,
cop
I am
cars and
actually
shit
a Russian bot. Here's some money, lol.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono.
they fight to the death through the streets of Manhattan.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
It's
A
true.
mysterious $5 from a benefactor appears.
Ah, but are you a state actor? Because I think you might just be a individual actor. Maybe some kind of super actor. Chat is secretly a CIA op. It's true. Everyone else in chat is secretly a CIA agent. You can't prove me wrong. Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono. Spot Dogs, thank you for the $5 dono as well. Very much appreciated, folks. Also, Zetetic, thank you for the 200 bits. Very much appreciated. I thought Grigor was French. No, Grigor Niet Russian is a down-home Texas cowpoke.
so just to be clear, you have literally no idea.
His favorite dance is the hokey pokey and the American hot dog.
idea what you're talking about. You don't know the name of the show. You don't know the name of the show that I did. You don't know the name of the show that I did for them or what I did.
I don't think I need to know the specifics on a podcaster who...
I am curious, why does Dave think that the Russian government gave him a comical amount of money? Like, what is Dave's even fake reasoning in this circumstance?
Who takes Russian money?
Oh my God. No, man.
But Dave is trying to respond to you.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Is he? I don't think he is.
hear his side of the story.
Do you know? Not knowing anything. I know he took Russian money.
But he's also. We also haven't heard his entire feeling.
I literally did a call-in show at first, so my audience just called me and asked questions. Sometimes we talked about basketball, we talked about video games. It had literally nothing to do with foreign policy. I don't think we did one show on Russia or anything else. And then we shifted the show. That was kind of boring to me, so I was.
I mean, I'm going to throw this out there. Could it be that you were asked to do extraordinarily saccharine, deliberately not particularly interesting content? I know, because we covered some of it at the time, and I was baffled as to why it existed. Do you think, Dave, that perhaps creating worthless garbage content that was low effort and easy for a colossally huge sum of money might have been a way to subsidize your main show activities? Could it be that you were actually getting paid for other work unrelated to, the hour-long program you put together with other garbage conservative creators? I knew this Jubilee was bad for Dave, but this is hilariously brutal. It's genuinely devastating. Like, he's so completely out of his depth at every turn. It's wild.
Like, my team,
like, the next person they bring up is going to be someone who is like, so I've been texting your husband and we hooked up last week. Like, at the rate this Jubilee is going, like, we are headed into crash and burn territory.
5 minutes before we go live, we'll pick viral videos. Woman throws hamburger at somebody at Wendy's, and I'll respond to it. That's what we did. And then guess what happened? After about 6 months of that, because I controlled the entire thing, I didn't even know what the clips were before I was doing them. The deal was off. They didn't want to do it anymore because I did not do anything. Yeah. And also notice, I'm not under federal indictment. I'm not sitting here with a lawyer or anything else. And as a matter of fact, Merrick Garland, who I'm no friend of, basically said that the influencers had nothing to do with this. And if you read just a second. And if you read the indictment, I'm the
Dave is desperate to run out the clock. They only have like 4 minutes left in this entire segment. He's running for the end zone.
The one that got on the Zoom call with the backer to ask more questions about it and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dave, I'm not saying you were saying Russia's such a great country, everyone should love Vladimir Putin. And I get that your show might not even been political in nature.
I know. So you didn't, just to be clear, you didn't know the show. You didn't know the show or what I do.
Yeah.
Is he playing dumb or is he stupid?
He's stupid. Like Dave Rubin isn't a true believer. Dave doesn't believe anything. He'll say whatever he needs to say to get money, right? So as a result, he has no investment in knowing anything about this shit, right? Outside of what he needs to be functional in front of a camera, that's it. And as a result, he's stupid. In part because the stupidity shields him, and in part because it creates like a kind of plausible deniability. But like, he's also just not that interested in knowing stuff. Yeah, he's both playing dumb and is dumb, and also completely lacks any self-awareness. Exactly, Brutus Magnuson. Nailed it.
But the fact that they are building the social capital of the Rubin report being larger in infrastructure is because...
It wasn't the Rubin report. It wasn't even the Rubin report.
You as an entity, Dave, they want to legitimize you more in the eyes of the viewers that they are trying to capture. That is the point of why Russia paid you specifically. They don't do...
I do want to ask Dave, what happened to that money? Did you give it back? Did you take the money and spend it on other parts of your show? Because it kind of seems like that was the point. It was to subsidize all of your other work that they already agreed with, and they thought by boosting you, they could boost positions that were more favorable to the Russian government. Full stop. Simple as.
Do it out of the kindness of their hearts. They didn't do it because they're like, Dave seems like a good guy. They did it because Dave's politics is advocating for cheerleading for Donald Trump policies, regardless of any criticism. That is the point.
Where is the case?
What do you mean, where's the case?
Where's the case? Where's the case right now? Why am I even able to talk about it? Why don't I have a lawyer sitting here? Where is the case?
I'm not saying what you did was illegal in nature. I'm just saying that.
Well, hold on. There was a federal indictment. Wouldn't I be a little afraid to be talking about it right now?
I'm not, Dave. I'm not claiming. I started this conversation.
Is anyone in jail because of this?
You might not even have known about the Russian money. I'm not trying to cast that blame on you. I'm just saying it's interesting that your show is so ideologically aligned with what Russia wants for the United States that they are going to give you money to continue to do it. That is the point.
What is it that I do for Russia?
You suck Donald Trump's dick without criticizing any bad thing that he does.
All right, yeah, we got to pause. Mason, you got to go.
Sorry.
We're so close to the end. We're so close. We're almost there. This has actually been brutal, but I would like someone on Jubilee to actually address Dave Rubin's prompt was, because it is at face value absolute nonsense.
Hi.
Hello.
I actually will agree with you that establishment Democrats have done a really terrible job of ensuring that their policies reflect what the people actually want. Most people want universal health care.
Yeah.
Most people want free higher education.
This is okay. I'm glad we finally got someone who is directly interacting with Dave Rubin's premise and comes up with a great argument, which is, in fact, yeah, this is bullshit.
If only he could search his soul as much as Donald Trump's little Donald.
Donald Trump's little Donald? Oh no.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Gamma02, thank you for the $5 dono. Also, is that a Sonic Adventure reference? Isn't Gamma one of the robots from the Sonic Adventure games? Or the playable ones? I don't know.
Education so that they can actually get a job and move up in life.
I don't know that it's most people, but a certain set of people
will
do.
say that they would love for the rich to be taxed at the same rate that they used to be, closer towards the 90%, rather than taxing the rest of the population that can barely pay their rent.
Yeah.
And then they're watching shows like yours, and they're hearing ideology more so than factual evidence. Yeah. And they're saying, you know what? Yeah, the Democrats, establishment Democrats, haven't been doing much that they said that they were going to do. So let me listen to this guy, and everything you give is emotion and ideology. So yeah, sometimes people who don't have nearly as much critical thinking as they probably should.
Dave actually got upset about that one. Dave, that actually hit a mark there. Like he sat there and got bullied by Mason for like 10 minutes straight and was very clearly very mad about it. And he's like, yeah, like I would ever get emotional. That's actually, this is peak comedy, you know? This is peak comedy. Nowhere, like, you know, trickle-down economics might not work, but trickle-down jokes, I think the jokes are trickling down. It's Donald Trump, very funny president. Total disaster, deeply evil, very funny. And it's all trickling down. The insanity, the Joker-like laughter with which we meet our reality. It is all trickling down, and honestly, watching Dave Rubin squirm here is peak comedy at this point. In the era of Trump 2, this is top tier. It's all a bad joke. True.
Are going to move to the right. Yeah. But honestly, the base that's actually growing are the progressive base. Young voters are becoming much more.
She's cooking though. Like I like her.
Progressive than they ever were. Yeah. Why? Because again, most people.
Well, I agree with that. That a lot of young people are very confused about what America is and what freedom is. Oh, they're confused about what they want. Yeah, they are.
Oh no.
Apparently, they cut out the part where Dave was giga butthurt about the sucking Trump's **** comment and was milking the homophobia angle for minutes.
Didn't they also cut out like multiple parts where he was asked about Sam Cedar? That's deeply funny. that is objectively also deeply funny. Also, Dave does know how to fake being outraged. You know, he does know how to fake that. There's no way he was actually insulted by the comment, sucking Trump's dick. That's a common saying said to not just gay men. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciate the support, keeping the show going, bringing it up that hill.
So I mean, we could just do a few of what you just said.
Straighterade's chuckles echo through the halls. Oh God, that was a great moment.
So how much money would you like to take from anyone to get whatever policy you want? What is the number? How much money should anyone have that you want to take to get whatever it is that you want done? Please give me.
You know what? A really simple way of saying this would be like, let's throw like a progressive tax rate of like 99% on any dollar over $1 billion. You know? Let's just tax billionaires out of existence. You know, a 99% progressive tax bracket for those with more than $1 billion on their wealth. Let's go. Let's make that happen. How about that? We can start there and work our way down.
It's interesting that you're using the rhetoric of taking when we're literally talking about a state, a society that functions solely through making sure that most people have their basic needs met.
So
Unfortunately,
how much?
establishment Democrats have moved so towards the corporatist side that they have forgotten what the people actually want.
So how much of Elon,
that's where we agree. Where
Elon
we
Musk,
disagree
all right, so let's use Elon
is your
Musk,
rhetoric around, I'm going to take as much money as I can from the rich.
It is taking. It's not. No, it is. Of course it is. What do you mean? If you don't give, if they say we're going to take it and you don't give it, they're going to put you in jail, right?
Yeah, you are describing how our tax system works. That is correct. Yes, Dave.
So it is taking. If it is so.
Yeah. Okay. So Dave is now arguing taxation is theft.
Taxes, if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail.
If it is so benevolent to do these things, then why don't more people do it?
No, it's just part.
Mahubaka, thank you for the $50 dono. My God, you guys, thank you.
Of being a person living in a country.
So
every
how much,
country has taxes.
So how much of Elon Musk's money would you like to take?
I love the idea that the Dave Rubin living in a society means that no one owes anything to each other. You know, like that's effectively the kind of world Dave Rubin has put forward as being the one we exist in, where, you know, like we live in a society, you owe nothing to anyone. That's why when you go to your Thanksgiving dinners, you know, your family get-togethers, you're expected to pay a $20 cover charge, and you pay by the plate for any food you eat. And you just love it. It's such a lovely family tradition where we extort one another for money. Yeah, no, we when we live together, we have a different set of rules where everyone contributes and everyone pitches in and lends a hand as they are able to do. And that should extend to billionaires to the extent that they stop becoming billionaires.
Take from him to do what?
I would actually like for billionaires and the rich in general to pay the same amount that they were paying back in the 1950s.
Okay, so that's a rather...
I always get an invoice from loved ones for birthday gifts.
About you, Jack, but all my family events have a 2-drink minimum.
Karen, I don't think I've ever had a drink at a family event, like a full family event. I don't think I've ever done that. That might improve some of my family events. My partner's family is lovely. My family, however, a little bit of a different story.
The radical position, if you want.
In the 1950s? Mostly it was Republicans that were in office.
So you want to give that money to the system and the government, which you don't seem to like very much, right? You're talking about corporate Democrats and you don't like the Republicans, but your solution seems to be, I will take more money and put it into the system to do what I want.
Wait, can Protestant Christians not drink alcohol? Depends on the kind of Protestant. Like, you know the town in Footloose where it was like sinful to dance? That's basically like one step removed from what the kind of religion my dad grew up in. And he was considered like one of the rebellious ones because he watched movies.
What I would prefer to
do what
is
most
that
people want.
What I would prefer to do is that you have a job?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, so I would like you to keep more of your money. I want everyone, again, in this room to keep more of their money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happens when rich people have more of their money? They hire more people. They invest in more things.
The wealth trickles down. It's been working just fine since Ronald Reagan.
So untrue. It is crazy. And that's what I'm saying. People like you will spit out this rhetoric, and people who are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have nearly as much critical thinking.
Okay, we gotta pause there. We're out of time.
Yeah.
We're out of time.
Yeah. My final surrounded claim is that the modern left...
Nope. That will have to wait for part 4. We did it, folks. We made it. We made it through. You are the strong, the brave, the few. The warriors. So, folks, remember, hit that like button. Leave a comment. A warrior comment. And hit the subscribe button, okay? And also, please, for the love of God, consider joining your local Dems and joining your local DSA. We need people to make your local local Democrats not shit. We need people to join their local DSAs and make your DSA effective. We need people to do it. It is necessary work. Through those organizations, you can help organize your local community. You can leverage political power on the local and the state level, maybe even the national level. And you can also find local campaigns that you can phone bank, door knock for, etc. And also build local friendships, which is pretty cool. And if you are feeling particularly isolated in some part of the country and you don't have a particularly active Democratic Party or DSA, you can consider tossing in with Progressive Victory, which will plug you in directly into door knocking campaigns, phone banking campaigns, text banking campaigns, information gathering campaigns for candidates across the country. So do consider getting involved with any of those 3 organizations, all right? And last but not least here, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. And check it out over at ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.